What is up? If you're watching this, that means you got another day. Get a good look of the Roush in the garage because this is one of the last times that it's gonna be parked in here. Yeah, I bought a supercar. Okay, yeah, you heard me right. Don't mind the engine swap that's going on in the background over here or the turbo on the counter. It's a good day in TikTok housework. I'm literally like making dinner. I'm gonna shoot myself for not eating this while it's hot, but I gotta get this story out while it's hot. Step outside where we have this beautiful California sunset behind me. Okay, so listen up. I bought a supercar. I did not lease it. This is not a borrowing type situation. This is not a mom and dad paid for it. Mom and dad didn't even co-sign for this car. This is I bought it. My name's the only one on the title. Earned it. Supercar. However, I need to say right off the bat that this supercar would not, absolutely not be possible without VOODOO Autosport and VOODOO Design. I'm gonna put their handles right here. These guys not only helped me find the car, not only are they gonna help me build the car, not only are they gonna help me service a car, but they are going to help me pay for it because it's gonna be a sponsored car. Now, I'm gonna pay for a massive chunk of this, like enough of it for it to be more than rent. It costs more than rent, and if anything breaks on it, it would have financially crippled me without we'll just call it the insurance of VOODOO Autosport being there ready to help me make this possible. Now, this is gonna be a win-win for both of us, and I'm gonna explain why. We're gonna make it a VOODOO car, but because I branded the Roush so well with the geometric camo, it will be, well, similar in wrap, and it will also have VOODOO's logo all over it, but it will be my car. We used my credit score for this car. I did the financing through my bank and got approved for my own loan. I sent my money to the dealer who will be making the payments on it, and like I said, we can go into the finances later, but you guys probably want to know what it is. Well, sorry, I'm not going to tell you until I get it. I'm going to pick it up on February 11th. I'm going to fly out to Oklahoma City where it is, pick up the car, and then reveal which car I got, and then drive it back. I will also say that I bought the world's cheapest supercar ever. It was an absolute steal of a deal. I expect it to appreciate, but even if it doesn't, we're gonna add some parts to it that's gonna make this thing pretty crazy. No more V6. I'll tell you this, it's not a V6 anything. Obviously, it's a supercar. I don't even want to tell you guys like what engine size it is because I feel like that could give it away. I was looking at a lot of different, so I'll tell you guys what I was looking at. I was considering the 992 Porsche because I feel like that is fairly entry level, and we had a plan to put a cup wing on it, and we had a plan to make it kind of like a track car, upgrade the turbos, and make this thing do like 900 plus horsepower. That is a runner-up and could potentially be one of the vehicles we purchased. We were considering, and I say we again too because I needed this to be a win for VOODOO as well because they are making this possible. I really want to stress that. VOODOO and also Longtail Rally, another sponsor of mine. I'm gonna make sure I have some Longtail branding on the car as well because I cannot do this by myself. I need the support of my friends and the support at this point of just my family. Not my mom and dad though. They are not a part of this at all. I called up everyone to talk. I talked to everyone from Life Apollo to James Stradman to all of my friends in LA in the car community to weigh in on whether or not this is a good decision. And literally everybody unanimously said, full send on it. The deal is great. The car is great. You know, this is made for you. Like basically accomplished the last big dream you've had since a kid, except for my dad. My dad said, this is a terrible idea. I will not co-sign for this and I will not be a part of it. Best of luck. I managed to get the deal down to the point where it made at least a little more sense. And my dad at least said, if you do this, it'll be really cool, but he's still not gonna put his name on it anywhere. So I feel like that's, you know, a blessing and a curse. Like it would have been great to have his name on it just to lower the APR on it. But at the same time, I can see that this car truly was earned by myself and the network and the sponsorships that I've built over the years in the car community. And it wasn't handed to me by my parents. It wasn't even handicapped by my parents. So there is no backup plan. If this blows up in my face, I move back to North Carolina and it's all over. That's not gonna happen though. We were looking at an MP412C because my roommate Drew has one and I really love that car. It's super attainable in price. It's very similar to all the other entry-level supercars in terms of price. It comes V8 twin turboed right out of the box. It has the doors that go up. The 12C is a phenomenal platform. That was definitely being considered, especially since we can do a center exit on it. VOODOO Design, just like we did with Drew's. Put a much bigger wing on it. Lots of branding capabilities there for the 12C. So 12C 992. I'm looking at the R8 as well. It has the opportunity for a V10. It's still relevant, even though the Gen 1's been out for some time. People still get excited about the R8s, and I've seen quite a bit of them recently. I got to drive one recently, the twin turbo gated V8, and I was a big fan of that car. I really like the way that it sounded, so the R8 platform also caught a lot of my attention, and I feel like there's a lot of VOODOO parts that we can put on that as well. And then there was also the consideration of a bigger, better American muscle car. It's not technically in the supercar range, but it is way cheaper. This is my opportunity to get a true V8 muscle car, so something like a Shelby GT350, maybe a Shelby GT500, maybe a Hellcat. Maybe I dip over into the Dodge side. So the V8 American muscle cars are way attainable in range right now where I'm sitting, and there's some crazy stuff we can do with those because VOODOO does specialize in supercharging cars, especially the Whipple packages. We can make some kind of drag racing animal out of a higher end American muscle car, which definitely has my attention because I love my Roush so much. I'm gonna go ahead and address the elephant in the room. The Roush is not being sold. I will not get rid of that car. I've built it up. I've put so much money into it. It doesn't make sense to get rid of it right now because I don't really need the cash on hand to put towards the supercar at this point or the next car, just because it only lowers the payments a little bit, and I would rather keep that money for like financial cushion. And this car we expect to have anywhere between 6 and 12 months, maybe even 24, and then get into the next car. So this is not going to be long-term, like 3-4 year ownership like the Roush is. And if it appreciates, even better. The Roush is essentially going to become my daily. It's going to be the car that I drive around when we modify the next car, because the next car is going to be down for a lot of days. So I need something to drive around. I'm not going to get rid of the Mustang and buy some $5,000 or $10,000 car to just have maybe $5,000 or $10,000 extra in the bank. It just really doesn't make sense, especially when this car is still relevant and we can still make content with it. The Roush is going to stay. The other cool part of this is very cool. The Air Force. When I was active duty at one of my recent tours, Nick over at VF Engineering was kind enough to offer to let me drive his, at the time when he owned it, now belongs to Longtail Rally, the VF Supercharged Performante for a couple of weeks and just vlog with it. And I was all for it. I looked in the AFI, it didn't seem like it was a problem. And I asked my unit and they said, okay, we will potentially let you do this, but we need to route it up the chain. And it made it all the way to the Pentagon. And then the Pentagon sent back the words something along the lines of no, because it is unrealistic for an active duty or military officer to have a supercar ever, which kind of like was not reassuring in my hopes and dreams of owning a supercar. So what I'm gonna do is not only am I going to pick up my supercar in Oklahoma, but I'm gonna drive it to nearby base Tinker, because I am still in, guys. My paperwork has not processed yet. I'm gonna still be a captain for the next like 6 months. So I will have base access and I am still in the Air Force. I'm gonna drive to Tinker Air Force Base and I'm going to vlog with my new supercar on the Air Force Base. Then I'm going to drive to Albuquerque. I'm gonna vlog on that Air Force Base. Then I'm gonna drive to Vegas. I'm gonna vlog on that Air Force Base. And then I'm gonna bring it home on that Monday. So just 3 Air Force Bases where I can drive through the gates of my supercar just for my own pleasure of saying that it is possible no matter what job you're in. If you really are smart with your money and you save and you make the right connections, I truly believe that you can do anything, because I also recall uploading my first ever vlog on this channel when I had 0 cars. I had $0 in my bank. I had $300 in my bank account. I had just totaled my first ever Mustang. I hit a pothole and I decided to start vlogging the next day. And I didn't know anybody in LA. I was brand new. This was in late 2018. And now here we are in the beginning of 2022. Well, in about 2 weeks, I'm going to go and pick up a supercar. So anything is possible. I also did minimum wage for about 2 years. I had to really be smart with my money while I was building up the Roush. So it feels very good finally be in a position where I wouldn't say comfortably is a stretch. I can afford the car that I'm going to get. I am forfeiting a lot of things like my ideas of e-com and a side hustle. Building any kind of business right now is pretty much on hold indefinitely. I'm not going to invest in literally anything else. Now I do have a lot of investments. I do have IRAs and TSPs and stocks and some other things so that I am building a retirement fund for the future. So I'm not completely stupid with my money. I'm also going to be uploading a lot more videos on that later. So this channel is going to be very educational because it's going to be all centered around the lifestyle that I have to be able to get into a supercar by myself, again, with also the help of VOODOO and the Longtail Rally. So that way you guys can kind of tailor your life to something similar, or maybe make some decisions to put you closer to a supercar, because this really is the only thing that I've ever wanted to do in life, is own one of these cars. So the fact that I am in that realm now, I feel like my whole life is going to adjust to accommodate it. I feel like I have a new responsibility because I haven't been responsible for anything in my life besides myself up until this point. Obviously, as an Air Force officer, I had responsibilities, but now I feel like something is counting on me. I have to be able to make these payments each month. I'm gonna have to adjust accordingly. I'm gonna leave you at that. Take some guesses in the comments down below. I might drop some hints to let you guys know what direction we were leaning towards, or there might be a completely new vehicle out of left field that I haven't talked about at all, and I've just been duping you guys. If you've been watching my Instagram stories, you might think you know what car I got. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna keep it a surprise, but we're gonna be uploading videos here as often as possible. The channel's gonna be lit because we have a supercar. We're gonna be building it up. It will not stay stock at all. We already have parts on the way for it, so this thing's gonna be a whole lot of fun. And I'll catch you guys at the next episode. Peace. I might lie to you just to get through the night with you. Hope that's alright. No, you lie to me. It's only right.